Nikita Tszyu Ben Mahoney, Brendan Bradford, a interesting result tonight, mate. How did you see the fight? And I guess what's your reaction to a draw this evening?
An incredible amount to take in over the last sort of hour and a half. A phenomenal fight, first of all. 12 rounds, back and forth. The judging, it depends on what you like. Nikita's power, Ben Mahoney's activity. For me, I often go for the power over the busyness of the opponent. That's just me. That's what I appreciate. So I had Nikita winning 7-5, maybe 8-3 at a stretch, but I can also see a draw. I can see it going 6-6 because I felt that there were rounds between sort of 5 and 9 or 10 where you watch them and you just go almost a coin toss some of those rounds.
Yeah.
I had Nikita winning the fight. I thought he won the fight. However, somehow I'm not surprised that we're leaving here with a draw. And then look, we were saying the other day in our preview, one of our previews, that there's been no heat, no tension, no aggro, no back and forth between Nikita and Ben in the build-up. In the last hour, we've had a lot.
Yeah.
It's almost more animated after the fight than they were in the build-up to it. How did you score it, though?
Mate, I had the fight 7-5 Nikita. I could even stretch to 8-4. And firstly, tremendous fight. Great effort by Benny Mahoney. Terrific fighter, Benny Mahoney. But I just felt like Nikita was landing those straight lefts.
Yep, straight down the pipe.
Straight down the pipe all night long. Hard shots. Yeah, hard shots. And Benny would come with some flurries. And, you know, some judges might like that, so they might have given him the round. But for me personally, the straight lefts down the pipe all night, a close fight, great fight. Yep. I think Nikita did enough to win, but I think it's that classic case of the underdog in Ben Mahoney did a lot better than people expected.
Yes.
And Nikita probably, personally, didn't perform as he hoped.
Was less dominant than I think a lot of people expected.
Yeah.
I will say, look, from where I was sitting, and admittedly, look, we have good seats, but there's sort of 10 rows of people in front of us. It felt like a lot of Ben's flurries were elbows caught on the pads, you know, coming off shoulders. Yes, he landed a lot. He landed more power shots than I thought he would. I knew we knew it was going to be a tough fight. We said it was going to be a great fight. But he probably stood and was able to trade with Nikita a little bit more than I expected.
Yeah.
And through the sort of third quarter of the fight, Ben took the center of the ring and he started coming forward. And Nikita had to go through a bit of trouble. And the other thing is, it was a big Ben Mahoney crowd. So whenever he did whenever he got a bit of a flurry going, a bit of action, the crowd got up.
Yes.
So, you know, and that it just can't help but sort of sway your thinking or the way you see the fight. I suppose the 117-111 scorecard in favour of Nikita,
Too wide,
is what people are zeroing in on. Too wide for you? You think?
Too wide for me. I think realistically, close fight, great fight. As I said before, 7-5, 8-4. But I think it is just that case of the underdog doing better than a lot of people anticipated. But I'm struggling to see how Nikita didn't think he won the fight. Like, I think now he probably realises, I did fine, and I probably sneaked the fight. But in that moment, I still think Nikita should have been more. I wonder what the corner was saying to him in between rounds. Did he need more pressure? We didn't really touch on that, but I just think Nikita should have known he was either in the fight, a close fight, or he was winning the fight. And I think Nikita made a big mistake by saying that he didn't win the fight.
Massive mistake. the biggest mistake of his career. Like, and he wasn't asked. He wasn't asked, "Do you think you won the fight?" It was just, "How's the fight? How did you see the fight?" Your reaction moments after it's finished. He wasn't asked, "Do you think you won the fight?" straight up, and he was just asked, 12-round war, your immediate thoughts after that battle, and he said, "I thought Ben won the fight." And that's just, you cannot be doing this. I mean, we sit here and say that's just a silly thing to say, but we also at the same time say we love Nikita for his honesty and his rawness, and his just unwillingness to sort of just toe a line just because that's what you should say. Just his authenticity, and I always will appreciate and really like Nikita Tszyu for that. But you just don't say I thought the other guy won the fight. You just don't do it.
I think that sort of set the scene for George Rose to sort of unleash there at the end there.
Yeah,
I think Nikita inadvertently, because Nikita's harmless and he's just honest, but I think that George was like, no, don't do that. And that set that.
So we had. Off. So I'll say I was surprised at the overwhelming support that Ben Mahoney had.
Yes.
He was
Great
the
fighter.
huge favourite. I thought, okay, local guy, he'll but it's a Tszyu, that's the thing. Ben Mahoney was the big favourite in the arena. So when that 117, 111 scorecard got read out and it went to Tszyu, the crowd was just like, this is absolute dog shit, would have wrought, blah, blah, blah. Then the other two scorecards came out and it's a draw, and they're not happy. The crowd's not happy. Their guys lost. And then Nikita said, I thought Ben won. And then Ben does his interview and says, I fought Cohen a little while back and beat him with one hand, and they robbed me on a draw. That was a no-limit card. And then he said, at some point he said, if there's a rematch, he doesn't want to do it on a no-limit card.
Yes.
So then the crowd's just getting more and more worked up. And then George comes in to get his thoughts on the whole thing. And the crowd's just going at him. Like, there were blokes around us going, you're a this, that, and the other, a dog, a thief. Like, it was full on. And you do have to remember that in January this year, in Queensland, just down the road in Brisbane, Nikita Tszyu, Michael Zarafa, the fight ends in just awful fashion for sort of everyone invested in that fight when Michael said he couldn't see and the fight was stopped. That's not on No Limit. That's not on George Rose, but people are throwing bottles and cans, booing him. They had Jimmy Leonard Jr. there and Paulie Malignaggi, and they're getting pelted by, cans of beer and Canadian Club and whatnot. And the next time they come to Queensland, it's another sort of bizarre ending in a Nikita Tszyu fight, and the crowd's left booing again, and you could tell that George was, not happy. And I mean, again, through no fault of his own, the promoter. I think people get this worked up to the promoter. The promoters don't choose the judges and the referees.
No. Well, I think if Nikita doesn't come out and say, I thought Ben won the fight, I think it's a perfect night. I think both fighters acquitted themselves well.
No, well, the draw is terrible.
Yeah. Well, yeah. In my opinion, Nikita won the fight. But I still think if Nikita comes out and says, great fight, Benny Mahoney, I won that fight, I was landing lefts all night long, let's run it back, something like that. But I think conceding defeat in that moment, that was not it. And I think George sensed that, and then that set that chain of events where George sort of, and it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of days from that.
I've got
situation.
I've got the scorecards.
I've got the
scorecards. So the card that everyone is worked up about, 117, 111 in favour of Nikita Tszyu. That's Philip Holiday, who's a very experienced judge and referee, and fought at the very top level as a fighter. So he's got Nikita Tszyu winning, 9 rounds to 3. And he had Ben Mahoney winning round 2, and then the last 2, rounds 11 and 12 to Mahoney. Rounds 3 to 10 he gave to Nikita. And I just think that there's rounds between sort of rounds 5 to 10 where
Swing around.
he could have gone either way.
Yeah.
2 judges had Nikita winning the first round, which I thought was interesting. I gave Ben Mahoney the first 2 rounds. Carl Zapier, who scored it a draw, every judge had Ben Mahoney winning the last 2 rounds, which is interesting.
Interesting, given it's the first time Nikita's gone 12 rounds.
Yeah.
And I actually thought Nikita started the fight slowly and cautiously because he was conscious of punching himself out. In the 12th round, Nikita looked gassed. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, he was made to work, and he admitted just a few moments ago that it was the toughest fight of his career. Tougher than probably the one prior to that was Cohen Mazudia.
Yeah.
Looking at these scorecards, my very unofficial, and you're doing 100 things on fight night while these fights are on. I'm trying to write stories and do a blog. But my unofficial card is probably closest to Carl Zapier, who gave it a draw.
Okay.
And I'll go through it later. We don't need to sit here through it, but let's go to the press conferences here, because Ben Mahoney and his promoter at Tasman, Mick Francis, have come in, and Ben said, okay, if there's a rematch, it's not going to be on No Limit. He's just not going to do it. And Mick Francis has then said, we're going to launch an official complaint or investigation into, I think, the 117-111 scorecard, which is a pretty big statement to make. 2 big statements to make.
Well, yeah. It was a very interesting one how adamant the Mahoney camp were that they got the win. And, I mean, everyone's going to do that, I guess.
Everyone except Nikita Tszyu.
Except Nikita Tszyu. But, yeah, the comment from Matt Rose about, a rematch happening on a Eddie Hearn show or a Tasman card.
An incredible response.
Brutal comments from Matt Rose.
So Mick Francis has said, look, there's going to be an official investigation or whatever they do up here. He's not happy with the scoring and the judging. So I asked Matt about that in the press conference, and Matt said, look, go for it. Every chance they'll change the outcome of the fight and Nikita will win, because that's what his feedback has been, that everyone's saying that Nikita won the fight. And then Ben said, if there's a rematch, it's not going to be on No Limit. So I asked Matt about that as well, and his exact quotes were, what, are they going to do a rematch on a Tasman fighters card in front of 300 people?
Boom.
Big statement. Like 2 big statements either way, Mick Francis and then Matt Rose going back at him. Yeah.
Yeah. It was, I guess, the quotes of the evening, really, in some respect.
Massive. A shame that it had to wait till after the fight for any sort of...
Well, what I want to know, mate, is where was all this during fight week?
Exactly.
It was a subdued fight week up until now. But what about Nikita Tszyu, mate? Always in a drama. We had Zarafa earlier this year. And
Oscar Diaz was a bit of a weird finish.
And funnily enough, Josh Arnold, trainer of Zarafa, and Benny Mahoney. And controversy with Nikita Tszyu.
Now, I'm not going to name names, but there are people are saying that someone was in the ring chirping at George.
Yes.
Maybe to get him worked up, or that's why he was quite angry. I watched it back, those moments. I just watched it back. You can't see anything on the broadcast, so we need to see if there are heaps of people in the arena recording it. So
yes,
someone will have whatever happened on camera. I don't know who it was or what happened or what was said, but they're pretty adamant that someone in the ring was saying something to George.
Yes, and it set George off in a way that we haven't really seen him before. So yeah,
he left.
We will find out what happened there, but I will say that I spoke to Denny Green after the fight. He had it for Nikita Tszyu. Varying opinions out there, Brendan, but that's boxing at the end of the day.
That's boxing.
Mate,
the fight scores won't get changed. It's just not going to happen.
No.
It's a draw.
We move on. But question, Does this change the plans that No Limit had for Nikita later in the year? They were talking December 5th in Las Vegas on an undercard against an American or a Mexican guy. Does this change that, or do they look at that rematch at Benny Money?
I don't think the rematch happens.
No, I don't think they have to.
It can
It could happen
But
down the track.
The teams, they're not going to be able to meet in the middle here. They're not going to be able to meet in the middle.
Yeah.
They're not going to do it on No Limit. No Limit aren't going to have one of their big two fighters on anyone else's show.
No.
The rematch, I don't think it'll happen. I don't know what that means. We're all asking what it means in terms of eliminators and whatever.
Yeah.
They say it's too early to tell, but we'll have to see in the next couple of days what happens with the rankings. A win would have propelled Nikita to the top couple.
Yes.
Well, obviously that will change, I think.
Give us your thoughts quickly, mate, on the card itself, and a big win from Kieran and Callum, a tough fight as well. Thoughts on that, quick?
Callum, just a tornado. You'd hate to fight him. It'd be like he has 8 arms, just coming at you from everywhere. How tough is Blake Bomberwells? Like as good as Callum was, he keeps taking the steps up and he keeps getting the job done. Blake Wells is so tough, man. He took some shots. There were a couple of times where I thought he's gone, it's over, but he just kept doing enough, throwing enough to keep the fight going.
Yes.
Until it was stopped. So tough. Kira Rustin. Everyone was saying that the Sondre Simmons was going to be the toughest fight of his career, and this guy can really go.
Yeah, I was disappointed by that.
And he looked all right for a little bit, but then he just got belted. And as soon as he got that knockdown, he was looking around. He didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
I still thought that the stoppage was early.
Yes, too early.
Too early.
These referees are so eager to stop these fights.
The guy didn't want to be there. He was probably going to be stopped, like, convincingly. But it was still too early. It was round one. There's still a bit going on. The heavyweights, Brandon Gratch and Ike from Pluto, that was a cracker. Ike from Pluto, giving up 20 kgs. That is a tough man as well.
Yes.
Good card. Cohen Mazudia, Sam Beck.
Yes, I'm not sure about Cohen Mazudia, Jamal Charlo.
No,
to be honest, I'm not. I don't love that fight.
It doesn't.
Good payday, but
look,
that's a dangerous fight in my opinion.
The money has to be right. If the money's right, okay, and then we both know his team at Complete Boxing and the guys he's got, Joel, and Pete, his manager, they will take absolutely good care of him. But from that fight, I just don't see. It's tough to see him winning it.
Yes.
But of course, look, if they can sort out the money, then do it absolutely.
Yes. All right, there you have it. Brendan Bradford, Nikita Tszyu, somewhat controversial draw against Ben Mahoney. We hope you've enjoyed the coverage throughout the week, mate. Always a pleasure.
It's been a good one. Wow.
We'll catch you at the next one, mate.
Do it again soon.